we hebben het al gezegd. We zouden iemand uit Amerika gaan bellen. En die hebben we ook aan de lijn weten te krijgen. Dat is natuurlijk altijd alweer een klein wondertje dat mogelijk is. And if everything goes well, we're talking to Daddy Disco on the other side of the world, West Coast.
Disco Daddy.
Yeah, Disco Daddy, you there?
Yes, I am. How you doing?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. We're here in Holland, of course, and we've had rap for as long as it's also been in America, because we also got the African Bambaataa, the Sugar Hill Gang. You joined the game around 1980?
Actually, 1979. The Sugar Hill Gang was my influence. I was a DJ in L.A. at a club, which was the #1 club from 1976 to 1979, called the Workshop Disco.
Nice.
And I belonged to a record pool, and naturally, you know, the DJs in the record pool get you a lot of 12-inch records. Back in those days, we didn't have the internet, so the only way you knew what was happening anywhere was in the record pool. Somebody, you know, promotion man would give you a record and say, hey, this is new from Chicago, or this is new from New York. But we had no video. So West Coast hip-hop basically developed independently as far as style and substance, because we had nobody we could actually copy from in the early 80s. Now, MTV came out about 82, 83 or something like that, and people were able to see on both coasts what somebody was doing on the other coast. But up until then, in 79, I was influenced by Rapper's Delight. The record itself came out, and I had been off and on rapping at the club, but not full-scale rapping. I just did little poems, I guess you could call it, in between the breaks in the records. The zodiac signs, call-outs, and had the people respond from the dance floor. But when the record came out, I said, wow, I can do that. And I actually quit my job.
Wow.
From 1979, I had 2 jobs. I was a DJ at Big Ben's, which at that time was the first mega store in Southern California. Big Ben's was part of the Warehouse record chain. So I was an in-store DJ and a DJ at the #1 club. I quit both of my jobs to rap full-time. And I had to do that because as a DJ, I was cemented to my club Friday and Saturday night from 9 to 6 in the morning. I was the only DJ. I couldn't go to any other clubs. So for the first time in 3 years, I was able to go out to other clubs. And because I was in a record pool, I knew all the DJs at the other clubs in Los Angeles. And I said, hey, I'm a rap, man. I want to come in and do a few minutes set. And for all my friends, I got a blessing to this day. A lot of the DJs, they weren't jealous. They let me come in. It actually helped them because their club every weekend would feature Disco Daddy rapping for a few minutes, and the club owner would pay me $150, and I'd leave and go to the next club. I did that for 2 years. Okay.
Wow.
Well, yeah, 2 years to build up my raps, started writing stuff, getting tight, and that culminated with me entering a rap battle contest at a club called the Carolina West. Again, which was a friend of mine, DJ Andre, was the DJ there. And it was a popular club. But KGFJ sponsored, the radio sponsored the first rap battle between me and Ice-T.
Yeah, I was definitely going to ask you about that rap battle.
It was the first rap battle in L.A., the first documented one sponsored by a radio station. Ice-T wasn't known. Obviously, I was known as the #1 DJ. I had battled other guys, nothing that big as the one at Carolina West. But at the small clubs, again, I was going to just testing myself. And L.A. was slow to get on board, I must admit, because we didn't have the same fertile ground that the East Coast had. In the East Coast, you had Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, each one of them developing simultaneously, but independent flavor, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, indeed.
Each borough, and they each had their own rappers and b-boy crews in the Bronx and Brooklyn, and they would battle against each other like that. L.A. was different. L.A. had one club for teenagers. That was the Workshop. That was my club. And we didn't have a varied, like we do have Compton and Watts and things like that, but there was still only one club that all of these people came to from all of the areas around the city. So I was basically the only DJ from 1976 to 1979 that people actually got a chance, the young people got a chance to see and realize, hey, I can't sing, I'm not a basketball player, but I can definitely buy 2 turntables. Okay? And it sort of kicked off the party promotion scene, which laid the foundation later for Uncle Jam's Army or whatever. But I entered that contest at Carolina West. I was well known, and this young guy who had just got out the Army and moved to L.A., he had been stationed in Hawaii, and he beat me the first week.
Whoa.
And that really was devastating because this is like a young whippersnapper coming from out of nowhere, beating one of the most well-known DJs in the city. So I went back. First of all, I must explain that in 1981, no radio stations in the world were playing Westcoast Rap records. Okay?
That's a shame.
Yeah, that was really something there. But what happened was the radio station, KGFJ, and the nightclub, this was the first test to see if people would come out to a nightclub for this new music, this new thing called rap. If anybody was even interested. The radio stations out here had no way of knowing, so they put on the contest for that reason. The club was packed. It was so packed that the club owner in KGFJ said, you know what? Let's do this again next week.
Yeah.
Okay? So the next week, I came back, and I wrote one line. I did the same rap, but at the line, it's a signature line, which everybody's is blended into hip-hop now, but at the time, it was revolutionary. At the end of my rap, I did something neither me or Ice-T did the first week, which was draw in the audience, the call and response thing, which became the backbone of rap. Yeah. I put this one line in. If the party's over here and the party's over there, everybody in the house say, hell yeah. And they exploded. It was like they were waiting to get in, okay? And that was my key. This time when they said, who's the winner? It was Disco Daddy.
Nice.
What happened then, I got my $50, went to leave, but this guy came up out the audience. His name was Duffy Hooks Jr. He said, this is my father, Jerry Hooks. I'm getting ready to start a rap label called Rappers Rap Disco. It's going to be the first West Coast rap label. We were here last week, but we came again this week to see who was going to win. And we'd like to sign you to our record label. So by twist of fate, with all the great things Ice-T has done, if he'd have won that contest the second week, he'd have went on to record the West Coast first rap record.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really something if you think about it right now.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook, but if you go to the Michael Calfani Facebook page, you'll see pictures with Ice. We met about 2 weeks ago up in Hollywood. We're doing a film called Go Hard, the true story, the true untold story of West Coast rap. And it's us shaking hands and kicking it for the first time in 34 years since that contest.
What was that like, meeting him again after such a long time?
Actually, we had done some things around 84 and 85. I was hired by Mayor Tom Bradley in the city of Los Angeles to be entertainment coordinator for a new project Tom Bradley had started at City Hall called the LA Street Scene, which was a big outdoor street festival. And so as the entertainment coordinator, they put me in charge of the hip-hop stage. I had Run DMC, Ice-T, LA Dream Team, the Wrecking Crew, as on the hip-hop stage, and it was the first time the city of Los Angeles was going into something like that. And it went off well, so I had Ice-T then. And then also Breaking, the movie, Ice is on the soundtrack. But I had started a breakdance group, the world-famous LA Breakers, which became the #1 breakdance company on the West Coast, and the official dance company for McDonald's and Adidas. And we performed at the opening of the Breaking movies, went on a little mini tour, Ice-T and the world-famous LA Breakers. So we had worked together. But other than that, yes, this is the first time I had seen him since about 84, 85. It was something for both of us, because both of our careers as rappers basically started that night at that contest.
Yeah. Wow. That was a night that history was created.
Yes. Yes.
Whew. That's quite some story.
I really feel blessed because basically, you when things like that have happened and you look back years later and you wonder, I mean, if you believe in a higher power, why was I placed there at that moment?
Exactly.
And I did give him, it's funny, I did get a chance to ask Ice the question I've wanted to ask him for years. I heard about the contest on the radio. And I said, Ice, how did you find out about the contest? He said, man, I was at the Carolina Rest already. That was my party spot every weekend. So he was already in the club when they announced the contest. They were going to have a rap contest. And he said, even his buddy decided on a lark. He said, man, go ahead up there and get in there. And that's what he did, just on a lark.
Wow. Yeah, and that is how fate, brings people together, gets important things to happen, and then takes off again.
Yeah, and it was life-changing for me because getting a recording contract, remember, I quit both of my jobs.
Yeah,
2 years I was doing little dinky clubs and contests and everything, and then I finally get a recording contract. I really felt like I was in a Hollywood movie.
I can imagine. And it was also necessary because, as you just said, you gave up 2 jobs, but you also, you need a steady income. You got your expenses.
Right. Exactly. So it was really life-changing. The record came out. That's what I wanted to get back to. No radio stations in the world were playing rap records. So we recorded the album with this huge umbrella over us. People telling when you record it, nobody's going to play it because you're not from the East Coast. It was really thick at that time because there weren't no West Coast rappers represented on the airwaves anywhere in the world. And I took the record to KGFJ, me and my producer. 2 days later, I'm sitting at home, and Tyrone Boogie Nelson, who was the evening drive doc, they broke it during the evening drive here in L.A. That's like 4 to 7, 3 to 7 p.m. And they called me at home and said, Mike, turn on the radio. And that's another moment that I can never really fully describe to anyone what that's like. You know what I'm saying? I had broken a glass ceiling, and it didn't really hit me right then that my record was the first one to get airplay. It actually hit me a few months down the road. And even then, it didn't hit me heavily because I said, okay, now there are other rappers making records. But years later, after I had been forgotten about, until the internet started and people started wondering, how did West Coast hip-hop start? Where was the beginning? And people started my name. Some people thought I was dead. Some people thought that Disco Daddy was a legend like Paul Bunyan.
No way.
Yeah, really. They thought it was, I'd heard the name Disco Daddy, but because we had made no video, 1981 just was a few years just before MTV and rappers and recording artists making videos for television. We had no video. We didn't even take any publicity shots, Disco Daddy and Captain Rap, because it was a one-time deal with this producer, and he actually signed me. I met Captain Rap at Magic Johnson's birthday party 2 weeks after I won the contest. I was supposed to go in the studio the next week, and I went to Magic Johnson's birthday party invited by another pioneer, Michael Mixon Moore, who was a celebrity party jock. He did parties for big celebrities. And he said, Mike, he was the one who helped Disco. There wouldn't be a Disco Daddy without Michael Mixon Moore, because all of the celebrity shows he did for Al Jarreau. Al Jarreau had opened up a nightclub called The Rooftop, the Roof Garden. He made a song about us back then, the Roof Garden. And I went down there and I rapped, and Al had me be the weekly featured rapper at his club for all through 1980 because of Michael Mixon Moore. And I met, after I did the rap for Magic at his birthday party, his 22nd birthday party, Variety Arts Center, downtown L.A., this guy came up to me and he said, hey, man, I rap. And I said, okay, well, I'm looking for some rappers because my plan was if my record did well, which it hadn't been recorded yet, it was 2 weeks before we went in the studio, I was going to follow the East Coast model of signing other young rappers and produce them myself. So I had an audition at my house for that purpose, and he came through. I told him I was having an audition the next week, and he was so head and heels above everybody else. I said, you know what? I'm changing this act, man. I'm going to make you my partner. Just like that, right? And it became Disco Daddy and Captain Rap. I sent him home. I said, I'm gonna take these sections out. You write and fill up these sections. Come back next week and go in the studio. I'm gonna call my producer and have him sign you. And so he got signed, and I changed it from Disco Daddy to Disco Daddy and Captain Rap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we did that right. That was a whole thing, a whole separate thing there. All this happened within the span of about 3 weeks. The contest, me doing Magic Johnson's birthday party, and then going to the studio to record the album. The album was pressed and released within about a week and a half. We took it to the radio station. This is August and September 1981.
That's a lot of things happening in a 3-week period.
Briefly, it was very, very hectic because basically there were other rappers recording records, and we found this out later from J.B. Stone, the program director at KGFJ, but he just didn't hear something that he felt was playable on the station. It was simple as that. It was the first rap record he's told us that he heard that he actually liked from the West, from the people. So we weren't like the first people to actually record the first rap record. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But mine is the first official rap record because it's the first one to get radio airplay.
Yeah, it got airplay.
Right. And then it went national and then international. And that opened the door for Toddy T, and then later on, the NWA, Dr. Dre, all these cats were able to finally get their record on the air. But again, by 84, 85, you had the whole video thing operating. So if you had a sharp video, even if your record wasn't that good, you had some player getting, you know what I'm saying, some video play.
You at least had some, try at MTV.
Exactly.
So
it was a very interesting time.
Yeah, you opened up a lot of doors.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. We're very grateful for it because, we never know what might have happened to Westcoast Rap if it wasn't for that one battle between you and Ice-T.
Right. And I'm writing a book that's called Whatever Happened to Disco Daddy. Mm-hmm. And, again, I'm on Facebook, Michael Calfani, not as Disco Daddy, Michael Calfani, which is my performing my name. I've used it as an actor, model, whatever, before I became Disco Daddy. And that's spelled Khalf as in Frank, A-N-I, Michael Calfani. I'm on Facebook. I have some other friends from the Netherlands and Europe, Paris, around the world. Hip-hop, that's the other thing I did want to mention, how really amazed I am at the spread of hip-hop culture from America to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's been embraced everywhere. It's global.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, but that's the way it should be because that's what, it was all invented for. Peace, love, and unity, and, that's worldwide.
Exactly. And let me get this shout out to you people out there in the Netherlands, because East Coast, West Coast, all around the world, I love all my brothers and sisters in hip-hop. And if you love hip-hop, hopefully I get a chance to visit the Netherlands. Heard nothing but good things about Holland and the Netherlands. Okay,
that's good.
That is one of on my bucket list. Is hopefully way before I get to where I'm carrying the bucket, I'll get a chance to come there.
Well, if you do, keep us posted because we'd love to have you in the studio.
Beautiful. I got my contact, Mr. Edwin Voss, who I think set this up on Facebook. He's a friend of mine, and I would definitely keep in touch with you guys.
Good. Disco Daddy, thank you very much for this small conversation we had about the starting days of rap and really the start of West Coast rap in general. And we would love to play some more West Coast, and we're going to do that. But first, before we get to any other rap, we're going to play a tune that you're probably very familiar with. It's called Gigolo Rap.
Why, thank you, my friend. Well, what's your name? The DJ I'm talking to.
The DJ is called Jeffrey.
Okay, Jeff. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. We're very happy that you had that battle, that you made West Coast Rap a thing that has come to pass, and we're enjoying it every day. So, actually, our thanks goes to you.
Well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see you in Holland, but before that time, Holland can enjoy your tunes together with Captain Rap in the Gigolo Rap.